We always do.
We live, you guys. Hello. And how is everybody?
Let me turn my
Get
volume
in
up.
here,
Sorry.
get in here, family. Get in,
Kitty.
get in. Scoochie in, you guys. How y'all doing? How y'all doing this week? How y'all doing? Get in here. While Ram fix her camera, get in
I
here.
was
Come
I,
on in.
I was actually turning my volume up. I couldn't hear you, and that's unusual.
Are you trying to say that I'm loud, Ram?
Yeah, I'm your friend. I'm your real friend. So I know.
Get in here, family. Get in here. Y'all click like and share on your way. Click like and share on your way. Let us know you in
Please.
here. Say something to us.
Scooch
Get in
over.
here, y'all. Get in here. Get in
Tell
here.
me to
Y'all
scooch
talk back
over
to
to
us.
you.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
What?
Before I get started, I want to go ahead and get the link. Let me copy that so that I'll have it. And yeah, let me just go ahead and post it right in the chat box. Y'all get in here, get in here. Get in here, family. Get in here. What y'all been
Where'd
doing?
you get
I
that
see
from?
our guest has arrived.
Where'd you
Huh?
get that from? Get in here. Where'd that come from, darling?
Get in here. Don't you be, I got it from. I got it from my dear friend. He don't know I got it from him, but y'all know I steals everything.
You don't
It ain't
steal
no
it because you
secret.
don't tell them.
It ain't no secret if you tell it that you're stealing it. You ain't stealing it, right? You
It's
ain't
not.
trying.
It's not stealing.
Yeah, not if you tell. So anyway, how you doing today, Poo Poo? While we wait,
I'm
we're just gonna
good.
give it a few minutes. Um, we got a good topic tonight, you guys. I
Yeah.
really want you guys to kind of tune in and dive in while I wait for some other folks to pull it together. I guess over there, she trying to get it together.
You can see her.
She in the green room. They can't see you. But anyway, so how you doing, Boo Boo? How was your week?
Oh my God. Very long, busy, very busy. But it's always really busy at work, in the office. It's always busy around this time of year, like towards the end, I guess, closing things out. Just a
Yeah,
lot. It's
a
a
lot
lot.
going on.
But it's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, the busier I am, it seems like the faster the day goes by and I can get home to my babies.
Oh yeah, that's always the best way to do it when you're working and you don't want to be sitting bored. So in
Yeah.
the day it takes a long time. Let me see what's happening with me. I mean,
Let me see what's happening with me.
because it just be so much. It's like, where do you start?
Yeah.
But no, this was a pretty smooth week. I didn't have a lot going on my calendar this week. I was doing some other personal things, um, getting ready in my life for personal things going on. But other than that, nothing major. My calendar was pretty light this week.
I know I usually like I leave you alone on Mondays. Definitely I just try and leave you alone on Mondays, but for whatever reason, this Monday you were like free and clear. Like, hey y'all. So she responded immediately. Like this
Yeah,
is
I was like, what y'all doing?
yeah.
Thank goodness I have those weeks sometime. Get in here, y'all. Get in here. We just killing time, waiting for y'all to pull it together. Click like and share. Go tell your neighbor that we in. Click like and share. Go tell your neighbor that we here. Come on now. Y'all ain't got a whole lot going on. They locking us back down. So I know y'all ain't got too much going on.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Um, you know what? I just posted a video that I ran across today on my. Hey, Mom. Loretta says hello.
Hi
Yes,
mom.
click like and share when you're coming in. I posted a video of a nurse in El Paso, Texas, and I don't know if you had a chance to see it because I just did it. And the poor lady was broken up because of the what's going on in El Paso right now. The numbers then elevated again, and
Yeah.
just body bags and freezers and morgues. When y'all get a chance, go look at my page. Yeah, that kind of heart saddened me because I know that we as a people are sometimes being a little irresponsible because we don't see it happening. We feel like we're meeting and we're still hanging out and everything is good, but we're not in those ICUs where people are dying daily.
Yeah.
So, having said that, as a responsible person and family that we have agreed to go ahead and pull back on the Thanksgiving gathering. We were going to gather because we thought it's just going to be a few of us, but that had started turning into like we were all already up to 30 people. Yeah. And so yesterday, me and my aunt was both on the same page, and she called me, and I was just about to call her, and we was like, yeah, no.
Not this year.
It's too much going on this year. So we decided to just stay home and be with immediate in the house type of stuff. And
responsible. That's very responsible. I think the only thing, it's only my mom, my sister, and my oldest baby at my mom's house. Me and Imari, I'm sure Eric will go to my mom's, and that's it. The six Happy Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we do have to be responsible. And I was just looking at something on the news when you and I first got on, and it was a wedding who they had broke their party down from like 200 to 114, 113, and they're calling it a super spreader party because I think like up to 37 or 38 people contracted the virus, you know, because they're on the dance floor. She said, the bride said, no one had their mask on. They're on the dance floor, they're dancing, they're laughing, and you get really relaxed. I'm sure there's alcohol involved. And so I even heard on the news this morning, they were recommending no alcohol at these gatherings because you get relaxed and you're not thinking about that mask. You take it off and you leave it on, you know, and especially if it's people that you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, regardless to how well you know them, I go to an office full of people every single day, right? My daughter is home every day. So I'm more I could possibly be the one that bring it home. So I gotta be really careful. It doesn't mean I'm getting it from the grocery store. I can get it right from work where I go every single day because I don't know what their lifestyle is once they leave work, you know. So I stay praying when I get to work because you just never know.
Yeah, it's just So as a result, I was a little saddened because I kind of really wanted to get out. It's like, again, you know. So, and literally after Thanksgiving, for people who aren't going to be responsible, we may end up going into a full-on lockdown. I mean, they're talking about it more and more on the news every day. So
I'm actually okay with it, to be honest with you. Honestly, to be honest with you, I'm naturally a homebody. I would love to just be in the house. Now, when I was displaced and I was at my mom's house and we were, you know, it was different. I did everything to be gone because I didn't want to be, it was just uncomfortable a little bit, right? But now that I'm in my own place, I am good with just being at home. I'm good. I'm okay with it. So, and if it's for the sake of the health of us, of everyone, stay in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I get that part. It's just that I'm just kind of burnt on not being able to gather.
But we've been gathering for years.
Family. So I still want to be with my family.
Do it.
Actually, the holidays, but you know. So other than that, that's the only thing that's bumped me out. But anyway, so I think our guest is ready. We got Miss Danielle Strickland back with us again. Y'all give Danielle some love. Show her some love if I bring her up on the screen. Show her some love. Give her some hearts. Some hearts. Where is it? There it is. Hi, good.
I'm back. Well, thanks for having me again.
You look bright.
I know you look great.
Got a little light.
I got my light today. How are you, lady? How are you? I know we're going to be talking about homelessness and you know that whole thing of amid this COVID crisis and the holidays are coming up. But how are you? I want to check in with you before we go off doing all of that. How are you today?
I'm good. It's been just a super busy day, but I'm good. I'm good. This morning when I woke up, I actually, it's just a habit. Like the first thing I do is grab my phone and I get news reports. And so one of the reports that I saw was what you guys are talking about, us being locked down and things like that. So, they're taking some things back. So they're cutting back 25%. So basically, like nail shops, hair salons, certain places, they have to cut back 25%. So like if it was, or not 25%, I think it's 50%. I posted it on my Facebook page this morning at like 6:00. But they're cutting back to, in an effort to slow down the spread. Now, if we don't slow down, like right now, I think our numbers are like 3,000 cases per week or day. I got to reread that. But if once we get to 40, if I'm saying if we get to 45 cases a day, I think, then they're going to lock us down for 3 weeks. That's what the governor said. Lock us down for 3 weeks. And I don't want that. I don't want that because that means I don't want to.
Because
will this be an actual? What you said, Danielle? Because you don't want that.
And actually, I kind of, now that I've changed my territory and my job, I kind of like it, actually. I was in downtown LA, so I truly, truly experienced the homeless population in a way that I never have before. So that's why I'm like, oh yeah, we need to talk about this. And then I have this article up too. Like everything that I learn and that I get, I post it on Facebook because, I mean, some people read it, some people don't. They just see the headlines and it's like, oh, blah, 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 and they don't read it. But this article was really good because it's a great lead into like why things are the way they are. We always expect things to just happen like that, but everything has a process. And so that's why I really wanted to talk about it in the process, at least that I saw here. And I saw some roadblocks, which is why things aren't happening in the way that we feel they should. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Before you get into that, so like you said, you're downtown LA. Is that a new area you working in now?
So I just started with this company. We work with Fortune 500s and we're like their marketing force. And so we go out to businesses, making sure they're okay, making sure that anything they need as far as the business, and we try to promote them, things like that. But not selling anything, really just seeing if there's anything that they need. My territory was all of downtown Los Angeles, like literally. And I lived there for a large portion of my life, but not that part. So I didn't know it was like that. And during this it is really, really bad. Like some people are so gone. Like I was walking down the street and the lady was just in her underwear, no bra, no nothing. She just walking regular. Dudes like just pulling their pants down and just scratching their butt, walking around with no pants on. Like this was not just a couple of times. This was every single day. And it was just the homeless population was huge. It was a whole community. And so I had spoken with my friend. I think you know my friend Dewan. So I spoken with him because I'm like, there's just so many homeless. And there was this one lady that I always, no matter where I went, I always saw her. She's an Asian lady, but she didn't seem like she seemed like she had something mentally, but you could tell she was super homeless for a long time, right? She just didn't act like the other people. She would pack her stuff up all neat, and then she moved to another spot. And every time I saw her, I would think of Dewan. I was thinking, because I'm like, I know he could help her because she seemed like she still got something there. I know he can help. So I called him, right? And he's like, nah, that's not my story. I'm like, what do you mean? We know of St. Joseph. He's like, there's 50 different programs. And he said in downtown LA, there's I think it's called Weingard or something like that.
Yes, there's a lot.
It's just, yeah, he said there was 50 just in Los Angeles County. And I'm like, I didn't realize that. So the services are there. It's just a lack of inventory. So that's where all these articles and stuff come into play. Because if you remember earlier this year, they're supposed to be putting the homeless into the hotels because, hotel industry is suffering. We can't travel. You can't do nothing. So there was a deal for them to go into the hotel. I don't know what happened with that deal. I've been trying to search for news on that, but I think it fell through. So then something else is going.
No, that was a part of Project Roomkey. And so Project Roomkey was very much alive. They did house a lot of people, not enough, but they did house a lot of people. And now they're actually beginning the phase of relocating those people that they had housed in those hotels to permanent housing or temporary housing if they haven't found a permanent housing situation. But you're right, not enough people took advantage of the Project Room Key. Why that is, that's why we're here to get the
But do you
information
think
out.
do you think that they didn't take advantage of, they knew about it but didn't take advantage of it, or they
Mm-mm.
just didn't have, they didn't know, they didn't have the knowledge, and so you don't know what you don't know, right? So
Right.
who's going out and informing, or trying to inform? I know some of them have mental issues where they're not even receiving it, but I'm certain that there's some that's just denying it. They're like refusing it. They're like, no, I don't want it, right? But then there are some that would love that help, but they just don't know. So who's doing the informing?
So that's the thing, right? So as I mentioned, there's Hoppix and then there's St. Joseph's. And so there's spas, right? So LA is broken up into different spas.
Mm-hmm.
Now these agencies are supposed to go out and canvas. They're supposed to go out and canvas and see all the, meet all the different people, find out where they are, find out what their needs are.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not on the street every day, so I don't know. But I will say what I have noticed on Century and Western, because I'm right here. That encampment size has gone down so much.
Okay.
It used to be so big. It was basically an entire sidewalk. Now it's only one little thing. So they are doing the service. They are getting the
Good. It's
so
kind
Yeah.
of like, what do you call it? I'm
What?
sorry. Go ahead.
No, my whole thing is, I think that what people forget about the homeless situation, especially within our community locally here, is that homeless people are people. Okay, you can't just come scoop them up, throw them in the truck, drop them off over there. You
Right.
cannot do that. They're still people, whether they have mental issues or not. They're people. So you have to strategize. You have to go. You have to put people out here, not just say, "Hey, do you need services? I got a house for you." That's not how it works. They
Right.
do. After you've been on the street for a while, you have, some challenges, so you have to build a relationship. So you got to have agencies where these people are really willing to go out there, build the relationship. You can trust me. I want to house you. This is what I can do for you. This is what I want to do. This is what we're doing for you. So there's that first. I think people miss that. The people get mad because you see all these encampments, but these are people who have been displaced. Okay.
Right.
So I'm not saying, hey, leave all the encampments. No, I'm not saying that because I don't want it. It's not clean and it's not safe either. But I understand that they're people. And so with that, you have to treat them like people.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Treat them like people. They're delicate. You got to be delicate because the situation is delicate. Transition them to where they need to be. At the same time, like I said, I was talking to my friend, and he shared with me that there's a shortage of inventory. He said there's a shortage of inventory, but to me, I'm not inside. So I'm not inside. I don't know all the details.
Right.
But as a person who has eyeballs and I see all these vacant properties, not from COVID, but vacant properties that we've had for years, we have the inventory. Okay. Just like they had St. Andrews. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures, but they say at St. Andrews Park, they housed the homeless there. They set up spots and everything for them right when COVID started. They can do that in some of these places. They can put up temporary facilities locally. So at least they're not on the street.
Yeah.
At least they're not on the street. So it's like, woo, man.
Yeah. It's massive. It can be overwhelming. It's very massive. The problem is growing so large. But me diving into this, not many of you know I have a nonprofit where it's kind of new to us, and we're trying to resurrect it properly. And so I'm diving into everything homeless, and so I'm learning a lot, which is why I know the services are out there, but getting them to the services is not as easy. These people are really having problems getting the services filled. There's meetings every week. Every week we're online on Zoom now and all these other things. LAHSA, Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority, is the leading agency over all of these homeless services. And then underneath them, you have those agencies in the different spas, such as Topics, and there are many other names for, because each spa have their own homeless agency,
Program.
but they all really kind of fall under the LAHSA umbrella. And but it's so much funding out there, and it's you're right. The Project Room Key, they had a lot of rooms that were just left unturned because I don't know. There are many reasons I think the people didn't get the information.
Right. And
Yeah.
just like she was saying, people aren't going out and talking to them. It's kind of like the police. They have community relations, right? And their job is to go out and talk to the community to find out, what do you need? Let's bridge this gap. And people, I say this all the time, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. So
Right.
you have the homeless people out there that think you're the enemy. Like, you trying to pick me up and drop me off over in some other city because you want to clean your area up. But when they feel or know that you really have a heart for what you're doing, you're not just getting this check, it really matters to you, then they're more available to listen. And now they can receive the information. You can tell them, or whoever the scouts are, can tell them, hey, these are the programs that are available to you. And this is what we're willing to do. But you have to be consistent with it. You can't go once every 2-3 weeks and expect them to, just begin to feel comfortable with talking to you and being available to you. So yeah, somebody said, a lot of it is just they don't know.
But actually, there are a lot of teams that go out in all of the spas. One of the main problems that they do have is people, government subsidized, you have to give information about numbers. Let's just be real. Everything is about numbers. And a lot of the, there's an information system. You got to be able to divulge information to get into a lot of these programs. And it's a process, like you said, you cannot circumvent the process either. And a lot of the people are afraid or weary or just don't want to go through the process, because you got to go through a process. You got to go through steps to get the housing. You got to, it's a bunch of things. But I have some things, especially today, that I'm excited about, that everybody can take a part in, and it's called the Homeless Hotspot. And this just came out today, and they are actually looking for volunteers to, I'm looking for it right now. They're looking for volunteers to go out and collect data. You can do this right from your phone. You ain't got to get out the car. You ain't got to do nothing. But anywhere you see a hotspot, you can literally punch it in on your computer. You can literally, they just want you to enter the information that you see directly into the computer. There's a video that you watch, a 15-minute video, and it gives you instructions on how to complete the information. Everybody can do it right from their phone. Those of you who are interested, contact me, email me. I'll put my email in the chat in a minute. And I want you to be a part of Family Hands Foundation team to help get some of this information. So now what they're going to do with this information is going to help them direct the services. So if you see a hotspot like it was on Western and Century, you'll go there, you put what you see. I see 3 tents. I see, 5 adults over 25. Whatever you see, you click it in the computer and you hit submit. And now they know that's the homeless encampment. We need to send surveyors over there to get the actual information to find out what their needs are, so we can get them to the services. So I thought that was awesome, and I am definitely
311. You can utilize 311 to do that report.
Oh, okay.
There's a tab in there that says homeless encampments. So then, if you download the app, if you have the actual app, which I advise everybody to get, people just don't know all the things they could do with that app, but you download that 311 app, and then you can go ahead and take a picture of the encampment, select homeless encampment, and it sends it off. So that's a way to help, because in reality, there's a lot of agencies. It's just not enough people. It's not enough people out here actually surveying the people, which is why they go without services. But as people, we can help. We can help by utilizing
it's gonna take, it takes all of us. It takes us all. We can't just expect. I know we think, well, that's what they get paid for, but they need our help.
Right.
We're all in this thing together. Let it be a part of your civil service. Like, get out there. If you see it, say something. If you see it, say something about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited about that little thing.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
I
I've
didn't know
always
about
done.
the 311. I didn't know you could do that on 311.
Listen, we have our next city council member right here. He knows every.
Don't forget about us.
You guys are so funny.
She's not gonna forget, because I'm gonna be her campaign manager. You guys get in here. If y'all just coming in, we talking about the homeless crisis in our cities and in your cities and any city near you, and what you can do or how you can get involved in your city, whether it's in California or the next city over, next state over. Because guess what? It's easy to say they not in my backyard, but they weren't in our backyard until they got in our backyard, right? So, and it's just so widespread. I think it increased this year something like 14%. The homeless from last year. It was something. Let me look at that number again. I keep doing this computer. I got two computers up, y'all. Forgive me.
Oh God.
I'm trying to operate two different things. I'm trying to get tech savvy, you know.
Do that when we just sitting around.
Exactly. But anyway, so how do you think this COVID, so that's added another layer to the situation. COVID now, even if you are going to try to help, because really with us, we were trying to offer mobile showers, and that immediately shut us down because, okay, you can't really do showers. That's too much close contact with all this COVID thing. And so right when we figure, okay, things are lifting back up, now things are going back down. So it just looks like the showers is just, so we just felt like showers was one thing that would very much help them. We ain't trying to beat nobody over the head, but let's just get cleaned up so you can feel better about yourself. So
Right.
That's what we wanted to offer.
But now with this, I'm sure that puts a halt, because you would have to go in and disinfect after each. I mean, you would already do that, but it's a different type of disinfecting now because of COVID. And so, wow, yeah, that puts a damper on it. But I love the program. I think it's amazing. It changed your mindset when you put clean up. That's dumb. You clean up, you think differently.
One thing that we need more people to partner with us to give us support with lending water. The city has water, because when we go out, we need a water source. So that is also one thing that's hindering us. We need a water source. The city is not giving out any more of the meters to connect to the fire hydrants right now, because they say they have too many out already. So that's one thing that we also need. So if anybody knows anybody out there, tell a friend, contact us.
Where are you based? Where are you based?
Where am I based? Oh, we're based in Gardena, but we mobile. We go anywhere. So if it's a church in LA, if it's a church, next door to you, and there's a lot of homeless, or wherever you see it, and the business that's close to the homeless encampment, and them, reach out to us and see if we can work it out to be able to connect to their water source, so that we can be able to service people, because that is one of the things right now that is kind of being a hindrance, and we don't want that to be a hindrance. We're going to rebuke that thing in the name of Jesus. The devil is a lie. All right. So what else, Miss Danielle? What else we got going on with this homeless situation?
Okay, so the thing that I did want to share was this article. Now, this was at the beginning of November, end of October, where it's they've been going back and forth with what they were going to do with the homeless encampments. But the reason I'm going back to that time to read this is because this is the part that people don't know. It's not like city council is not trying to do anything. They continue to try to do things, but it's being fought by okay, let's see. Hold on. So they have something where they were trying to.
I'm out the loop.
I'm doing it too.
Where's my head? Get your head in there.
Get
in here, family. Get in here. What's
okay. It says the proposed change in the law would effectively prohibit anyone from camping in public anywhere in the city if authorities offer shelter as an alternative. Mm-hmm. I mean, that sounds fair, because if they offer shelter as an alternative and then they move you, then hey, they move you. We're offering you shelter. Mm-hmm. So that was in the.
What are you saying? They're trying to introduce a law that says if they offer you shelter and you refuse it, then what?
They can move you, but move you where?
Correct. That I really can't. You're gonna move the encampment, but look, there's more. There's more. Okay. Okay. There's more. So it's when one of the council members first saw this particular language, he had requested the change. Thought it was too far, just way too broad. So he said he spoke with the city attorney on Tuesday and planned to amend the citywide ban so that it would only go into effect once there was a system to track shelter beds and an agreement over what constitutes acceptable shelter. Now, to me, I thought that was great, because you're not just throwing people into a shelter. Mm-hmm. It's acceptable for them, and it's living quarters. It's still more. It's like those are big hills to climb. He said we have to be at a place where we can actually track all of our real-time beds, and where we have a series of protocols that we've all approved, and that the shelter beds are real. Okay. He's like, I don't know if we'll ever get there, but it's a nice North Star to have, right? Somebody was kind of like against it. So then it says the additional words, who has been offered shelter in the amendment is intended to address a 2018 ruling of the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in the case Martin versus City of Boise, that found the arrest of a homeless people unconstitutional if absolutely, this makes sense, if no alternative housing or shelter is available. That's crazy. That is unconstitutional. Like, how are you going to arrest a homeless person if they don't have any home or anywhere to go? So you're going to put them in jail because they're living on the street. That's not fair. Okay. But again, so the case withstood appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. But here we go. A letter opposing the changes signed by more than 40 homeless service providers and advocacy groups was emailed to all 15 council members Tuesday afternoon. They didn't want to move forward with it. So with the hash with which the proposal has moved forward provoked outrage from homeless advocates who phoned in on Tuesday's regular council meeting, which was held remotely. Tina, you should be on those meetings. Were you there?
Yes, I missed this Tuesday, but I have been in on them. I have been in on them, but I did miss this Tuesday. Like, oh my God.
This is before. This might have been before. So it says
the beginning of November.
And my phone is calling. I'm sorry, I'm trying to charge it and do this whole thing here. Okay, there we go. It says, what breaks my heart is seeing you pull out all the tactical and legislative stops to quickly pass something so cruel to our most vulnerable Angelinos, when we've never seen this kind of urgency for a motion that might actually help us, said Sophie, whatever her last name is, one of the strings of spokesperson who cascaded the council. Hold on. So here's the bottom line. Okay, so they were trying to here's the bottom line. So this happened at the end of October. Actually, to be honest, this was October 27th. October 28th, around that time. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what happened here was city council had a meeting. They were going to basically say, look, so if they refuse to be housed, then we're going to just move the encampment. We're going to move it, get it out of the community. It doesn't say where. It does not say where. And it didn't say they were going to arrest them, but they did say they will remove the encampment, right? But excuse me, that's only if they hadn't already offered them services. But what the other council member was saying was, we need to be able to track this. This just can't be people coming out here saying, hey, oh yeah, so we offered him services. He said no, we'll move the encampment. No, he said there needs to be a system to track it, which is fair. Like that's fair. So and then
But there is a system.
But then on top of that, you have all these, unless I'm understanding this wrong, but you have all these homeless advocates and all of these agencies. This is where I wish Dewan was on this call, because he's the real homeless expert. You have all these
I may need to call him and get him on.
We should, for real, because he really can give some good details on this. That's the one. But this is the part that I didn't get, because all these agencies were opposed to this. So to me, I thought that was so crazy. That did not make sense to me. Like, why are they opposed to this? I didn't get it.
They're opposed to moving them from the location if they don't accept the service. Well, yeah, I would imagine they would be, because for one, I mean, you're violating a right? You're moving somebody by force, and trying to say you can't lock them up. There's just not enough room for that. Number two, there is a system. There's a whole, it's an information system that they have in place. Not everybody is connected to it. I happen to be, because I got involved in that, because I'm like, okay, if I'm out there, I want to put the people that I come in contact with in the system. They want anybody who's involved with dealing with anybody who's experiencing homeless to get in the system, so that all the bells and whistles are in the system, so that you can track where you sent the person to. So say I'm giving a shower, and now I'm going to send them to Rams Job Services. I'm going to indicate that I put them in Rams Job Services, and Rams Job Services is going to also be in the system. Right. Rams Job Services is going to say, I gave them a job at Strickland's, daycare. And so there is a system. Not everybody is involved or know about the system. That's why I say
this councilman was saying is saying they're far from. It says his words. Those are very big hills to climb. They need to track shelter beds. They need to track, he said we need a system to track shelter beds, and we don't have a system to track. Now, again,
what you're saying, I don't think you're saying the same thing that article is saying as far as tracking. You're tracking the person. They're tracking the person, but they want to make sure that they're tracking the bed that's attached to that person.
Yeah, I don't.
What you're saying is more of a tracking system. Like, we want to know where you're at, what you're doing. That's more of what you're saying.
But that we already have that, because we were just discussing that. Like with 311, you can track. That's how they're tracking. Where that helps, and then they have the people out there tracking it. But this is different. He's talking about being able. He said we need a system to track shelter beds to see what's the bed. So
I'm not sure if they have a data-wise system to actually track beds, because all the beds are owned by different agencies.
That's what they're saying. They're saying no, they don't. So he's saying that's going to be a struggle. They need to know that TAM's bedding service. I'm not saying I have 20 beds, but I only have 10. Right, and I'm getting paid for 20 beds, and you're sending these. They just need to make sure that it all adds up.
Yeah, at some point it will, because at the end of the day, the systems that they do have in place are supposed to track you from homelessness to housing. The ultimate goal is housing, and then the person who actually gives you the housing are supposed to terminate your case once you get the service. So, it may not be as foolproof or as nice, but again, this homeless population, the crisis that it is also very new to us as well. in this crisis state. So it's kind of like we're in emergency mode and everybody's trying to come up with a solution. But that's one of the reasons why I agreed to do this again, because we did talk about homelessness before, but I think there needs to be more light shine, whatever. Y'all know what I mean. More light put on the homeless situation, because it is very real. But it's like anything else that you don't see, you don't connect it.
That's so true. And then the other thing that I was thinking about, like during the election time, right? Just imagine if all those homeless people could have voted too. Woo! That would, woo! The numbers would have been on the water. Unfortunately, they couldn't vote because they don't have an address. If they had an address, they could, but if you don't have an address, you can't vote. But it's like, oh my God.
It seems like I know you said we need more light to be shed on it, but it seems like right now where we're at, for me, there's so much work being done more than what I've ever heard before. It's just used to be complaints. So it feels like there's more light being shed on it. I mean, because we see it more, but maybe we're doing a little bit more than we were before, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot more funding being funneled, a lot more funding. So there's tons of funding out there for whatever you want to do that can help them. So if you got an idea, people, if you're an entrepreneur and you feel like, oh, I can do this, there's so much funding out there if it's connected to the homeless. Hey, Nicole, thanks for joining us. I want to give a special shout out to Otis Davis Jr. If he's still on the line with us. He said, I don't ever give him a shout out. Well, I ain't never seen you on the show, but he tapped in, he dialed in tonight. So I want to make sure I give him a shout out tonight. All right, that's my brother, you guys. My brother. Anyway, Nicole says the problem is the agencies get paid to place the homeless, but they keep shuffling them from temporary housing to shared housing and hardly ever get permanent housing. So that is one of the problems too, because it's just not enough.
Right. Permanent supportive housing is being built. Like it's being built. Me personally, I only know of 3 that have been completed. Like I think I told you last time, one was right there. It's near 60th and Western, and it's pretty cool. Like I saw the inside and everything. It's not bad for wraparound services. So it's, that's the part that's a little difficult because it's permanent supportive housing. These are people who have been displaced for some years and years and 1 year, 6 months, doesn't matter. That's a long time. And they need support. It's not just give me a bed. No, they need support. So they got to have wraparound services, and stuff just doesn't happen overnight. They have all that money for the homeless because we voted on it, the HHH dollars. Then they voted on it. It was another thing where they, they're taxing us some more. And we all say yes, because we know we need it. Now it's a matter of making it happen. We done talking. It needs to be no more talking. We need to have meetings. That's still talking. But sit down, have this plan, and say, bam, this is how we're going to execute it. This is when we're going to start, and this is what's going to be done. Because at this point, we're further down the pipe. We already know we have this permanent supportive housing already. So we need more permanent supportive housing. We have the funds. What's the hold? Oh, well, we are in a pandemic. It's COVID-19, but you know what? So what? Okay. That's what wear your mask, wear 2 masks, put a helmet on, all that. You know what I'm saying? When you building stuff, they're separate from each other. They're not all close. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Okay, calling me.
Yeah, they're calling you your sound left. Tell them you on the kitchen table talk show, and they need to dial in instead of dialing you.
Is that Dewan? Get Dewan on here.
Get Dewan. Tell Dewan. Look, it's in the thing. The link. If y'all want, if anybody wants to join in the conversation, I just dropped the link. Click on the link, and I'll bring you on, and you can have a conversation with us if you have any resources or anything like that. But that's why I got so excited, you guys, about what I shared, the data collection, because I feel like if I can share this information or your 311 information, anybody can put that hotspot information in there, and then in January they're going to send a team out to actually then talk to these people and see, what do you need? How can I help?
Specific needs, yeah.
Yeah, the specific
and
needs.
So that was another question that I had. Like, so when they put these people in these homes, homeless, when they house them,
mm-hmm.
if there's some mental issues, right? Are they doing the work to find out? I mean, I'm sure when they do the questionnaire for like, what do you need? They can't all just go to this house just because it's in this area, because some people have different disabilities that, need different types of attention.
So that's a great comment, Ram. Now I'm being professional. I like to sound like a real commentator. That's a great comment. And what they are doing, they offer what they call wraparound services. So this is what I mean by doing the work. Some of the people that these services are offered to, oftentimes they're not in a state of mind to receive the services. So it really does need to be broken down into multiple categories. You got your mental health challenges over here. You got people who just struggling because they lost their job. You got, you got a whole another sector of teenage homelessness that are coming out of foster care. So it's so massive, and it really has to be broken down into little bite-sized portions that we can chew and just tackle it a little bit at a time. But with these housing, yes, you're absolutely right. There needs to be all of the wraparound services. This is why I'm saying the funding is there for a lot of these wraparound services. So if you're a counselor, if you work well with teens, or you can be a mentor, all of these type of services are out there for people, instead of just, hey, here's a house, here's an apartment, but I can't pay for the there has to be jobs. There's so many things that go with that, because first of all, to even get to homelessness, there was already dysfunction in that person's life that you got to fix, right? So yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole lot.
It's a lot of layers. There's a lot of layers to it.
A lot of layers, and it's not just one person's problem. That to me is a community problem, something that everybody should be concerned about. I think Lolo shared with me one time, I don't know if it was her or somebody that she was talking to, a homeless person was just sleeping in their backyard one time, like it's coming to your backyard or a backyard near you soon. You know what I mean? And these people are oftentimes just trying to find a place to lay their head, or, get out of the rain or whatever. But yeah, it's a serious crisis. And then COVID didn't help matters. And guess what, people? The COVID situation is only going to magnify the problem, because guess what's getting ready to happen once we do come out of COVID? Guess what the government going to do? They're going to start attacking all of those people who got that rescue, didn't have to pay their rent and didn't have to pay. So those people going to be in some sort of situation, right? Unless the government forgives all of that, which I don't know how they would handle that, but you're going to have a lot of people being evicted, because they currently have a moratorium on evictions. You can't evict anybody right now. So COVID, that whole thing is going to be so out of control.
Yeah, that's going to be another issue.
I don't even want to know what we're going to face with at that point. It's going to be astronomical. Yeah. So I'm doing my little part, whatever I can. Like I said in our show back when we first started, everybody do their little part to just get one person off the street. That's one less homeless person on the street. That's how I see it.
Wow. True.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that
So
I mean, you're saying if everyone do their part. So, what would you suggest for a person that have no experience? So, you have a little experience because you've been informed so much more than the average person, right? So, what would you suggest, Tam, Ram? What would be my part? What can I do to assist?
so I would say to start off, connect with me so I can get you that information so we can do the data collection. Number two,
Okay,
and 311.
Three.
311,
What?
yes,
Yes.
there's an app. Yes, anybody can
and
go to
that's the easy one.
311.
Yeah.
And that is huge. That is really huge because they'll have all that information where they'll be able to just immediately direct services. All right. So after that, I would say get involved in your city council meetings. You know, go and hear what's going on so that you can voice your opinion and lend to the solution that way. Great minds, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, what else can you do? You can volunteer with organizations that are already operational. Family Hands Foundation. You know,
Well,
you
that's
know
so
when
great.
you're out there giving showers. You know, we don't have any budget. I was going to say we don't have a huge budget. Let's just stop playing. We ain't got no budget. So I was about to be real fake and phony with y'all for a minute. I can't do it. I
We
can't do
don't
it.
have a
We
huge
don't have no
budget.
budget. We don't got no money to pay nobody. It's about your time. Really, it's
Right.
about your time.
Well,
Now, when
that's
we
what
get a budget,
Time is money. Time is money. You
Yeah.
cannot get it back. So yes.
yes,
It's
and
called volunteer work. You're
that's
volunteering. So,
volunteering is one major thing you can do. And then, if you're lucky enough to get a paid position, that's great. But there are tons of organizations out there that could use your help putting your feet to the pavement.
those
And
are all
just
good.
like Danielle said, they're people, don't be afraid of them.
Yeah. I think
'Cause
that's a big one right there. That, we're most people are afraid of the look. They're afraid of what they've heard. They're afraid, and many of them are not going to bother you. They're not going to harm you. Many of them, of course, you have some that are mentally challenged. They're somewhere else. But if you go in thinking that all of them are like that, then you'll never do any part that is going to cause for you to be out there because you're afraid,
right.
But everything that you've listed so far is actually really good information for starters that we could do and don't have to go out there on the street, right? So there's no excuse. In other words, there's no excuse. I don't care if you live in the best of cities. You can live in a city where you see no homelessness, but you may drive through or you may have family or friends. It helps. If you go somewhere and you see it, report it. Not report it like it's a crime, but do the work. Do what Danielle and Tina said to do. I know I'm going to start doing it because I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, download that 311 app because that's the best way you can help. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't go out there and you don't talk to them, that's okay. It's okay. You just take a picture. You take a picture, you put the cross streets, and then you send it. That is such a huge help to these agencies because you have to think about it. It's only so many people that can go out, but if we all help, that will be so excellent. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be a huge help. But secondly, 311 is not paying me, but I'm just letting you guys know that is such a valuable app. Like there are so many things you can do through 311 that you never thought you could do. You can get bulky item pickups. You can report crimes. I mean, you think of it, you can do it. Okay, but really seriously, because the homeless it's a serious issue, and so that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to report. Homeless encampments within our community because they look so ugly, but because you want to help somebody, you want to help them. So if you're afraid to go near, guess what? That's okay. It is okay if you're afraid. Everybody just, they are built with different whatever. Take that picture, send it. That's bam from your car.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's good. That's really good.
Yes.
Well, I would suggest that everyone do once we get off of this, dial 311 and just listen to the prompts, because I have listened to some of the prompts, and like you said, there's so much information on there. You know, I say if you need this, then press this. If you want that, then press this. Just listen to what's made available to you on there. You may hear something that you've been looking for.
But you're right though with the download of the 311, Daniel. I have literally, because I used to spend 5-10 minutes on hold waiting for the bulky pickup. I need a bulky pickup Thursday. In 2 seconds, I just punch it in. They send you a receipt. They email you. They come with your bulky pickup, and you know it's just seamless, very seamless. So I have taken advantage of that 311 app, and it's great. So. We are literally every week we say, "Oh man, we ain't gonna talk no whole hour." It is literally coming up on the hour.
Yes.
It didn't feel like an hour.
Good
It
night.
never feels like an hour, but you know, and I appreciate everybody's time that comes on.
Yeah.
Those of you who take the time to sit and watch with us, tell a friend, click like and share. Even if you're watching the replay, it's still valuable information. I feel every time we come on, we spew valuable information that could be helpful to somebody. I don't know what we're gonna talk about in 2 weeks, but you know, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Y'all come back.
Thanks for having us, ladies.
Absolutely.
Danielle, thank you for coming again and again. The offer is still up for campaign manager. You know I got you.
That's funny.
Y'all, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna end the broadcast, but Danielle, you hang on a minute, and thank y'all for showing up.
Bye.